Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morgan!
What's up,
Front
Morgan?
page news. Somebody gotta do it. Somebody gotta do it.
That's right.
Yeah, turn the radios up. Turn them radios up. Okay, we about to get into the front page news. Yes, thank you very much. Very envy. I like that. Okay, so yeah, we were talking about it before the break, but have you ever texted the wrong thing to the wrong person, right? Mm-hmm. So the White House definitely did that. The editor of The Atlantic says he received an accidental text from the Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth that included key details about a plan to bomb Houthi targets in Yemen. So Jeffrey Goldberg is his name. He was included on a text chain on the encrypted messaging app Signal that also appeared to include Vice President J.D. Vance, National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, and Hegseth, of course, was also on that thread. Yesterday, President Trump, he said he was unaware of the situation. Moments later, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth claimed the journalist cannot be trusted, and he also denied any sensitive information was leaked. But we all saw it, right? So let's take a listen to those comments from Trump and Hegseth.
I don't know anything about. I'm a big fan of The Atlantic. To me, it's a magazine that's going out of business. I think it's not much of a magazine, but I know nothing about it.
You're talking about a deceitful and highly discredited so-called journalist who's made a profession of peddling hoaxes time and time again. Nobody was texting war plans, and that's all I have to say about that.
Hey, not too much on the journalists. Isn't that their job? Okay.
So did it happen or did it not happen? I'm confused now.
It did. A National Security Council spokesman verified the authenticity of the text group to Goldberg. The message was reportedly included weapons to be used to target across Yemen and timing. This all comes 2 hours ahead of the attacks, to which Trump actually said was very effective. So...
Yeah, you know what I don't understand? I understand if you did get those texts, right, and you know those texts weren't supposed to be to you, why would you put it out there? Like that's what I don't understand. Like, you are a journalist, but this is your country, and you know releasing some of that stuff can probably or might affect some of the things that happen. Why would you put that out there? Like,
you think I'm gonna sit on that? You know how big of a story that is? That's why you put it out there.
Yeah, but this is your country, and if it could affect military, it could affect people that's out there working.
Nobody
and fighting.
cares about that because you have bylines, you want to get the clicks, you want to sensationalize, and in 2025, nobody cares about that.
Don't care about people, huh? They care more about likes and TikTok numbers?
Not even .com numbers, Google Trends. Like, I'm just being real. Like, that's why you put it out there. But also, too, I think, depending on where that journalist sits politically, like, it's kind of like exposing how careless, or I think that's what they were trying to do, exposing how careless an administration could be, which is also dangerous. So maybe that's their way of saying, yo, if I care about my people, like, y'all need to know. Y'all president and his administration are accidentally sending something this serious.
Absolutely, Lauren. Absolutely. I mean, that's been a long trend right now with the administration. I mean, even with this whole deportation flight thing, they were worried about the judge having sensitive information that what they call, could be a breach of national security. So here we are in this exact same situation, and y'all sending out the wrong text to the wrong people. So, yeah. Meanwhile, while I'm on the topic really quickly, an appeals court is set to decide whether the Trump administration can continue deporting immigrants with the Alien Enemies Act. The White House has maintained it can use the 18th century wartime law to deport alleged Venezuelan gang members. A federal judge blocked that effort, claiming the immigrants are entitled to individual hearings, aka due process, to determine if they are indeed gang members. Now, a 3-judge panel heard the arguments yesterday from the Department of Justice and will issue a ruling soon. So we will see what's happening with that as well. But yeah, in the next hour, we'll talk tariffs. It's Tariff Tuesday.
Oh boy. All right. Well, that is front page news. Thank you, Morgan. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Charlotte is out. Lauren's filling in. And let's get back in some front page news. What up, Morgan?
Yes, NV, like I mentioned before in the last hour, it is Tariff Tuesday. But before we get into that, you love to start off with sports. Did you hear about what happened with Juju Watkins?
Yes. So sad, man. Torn ACL?
So one of the most notable players in women's college basketball, she will be sidelined for the remainder of the NCAA tournament. ESPN reports that USC star sophomore guard Juju Watkins has a torn ACL, and this happened during the team's second round contest, and she is set to undergo season-ending surgery. So Watkins was injured while driving towards the basket during the first quarter of USC's win over Mississippi State on Monday night. The top-seeded Trojans are still heading to their second straight Sweet 16, where they will face K-State on Saturday. It's so sad because it's like just 2 days prior to this, we saw her sitting and chilling with Jaden Daniels, and then the whole viral with his mom jumping in. So it's just
I think it's whack. I think they got to change women's basketball. I don't think it's fair that the boys can go from high school straight to the league. And Juju is definitely nice enough to play in the WNBA, but now she's injured, right? And although she makes a lot of money doing NIL, she should have been in the league. She should have been able to get those endorsements, been playing professionally, been having the treatment and everything that she needed. I don't think it's right how they do those women players.
I also don't think it's fair that the ACL is weak as hell. Like, why is that always the first thing? Like, can they get those removed so they don't? You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, that's always that's what mess people up.
Yeah, and it does take some recovery time for sure.
Yeah.
So wishing Juju Watkins the best in her recovery.
Absolutely.
But back into Tariff Tuesday, President Trump says many companies are coming back to the U.S. due to his tariffs. While holding a cabinet meeting at the White House, Trump said billions of dollars of businesses are coming back to the states. He also bragged about the possibility of jobs to be created as a result of the tariffs implemented. Let's take a listen to President Trump.
I think they're coming back because of the election that took place on November 5th and because of the fact that they have to come back because the tariffs are forcing them to come back. And remember, there are no tariffs if you build here. And many of them have announced it's going to be tremendous jobs, high-paying jobs, too.
So yesterday morning, President Trump announced a secondary tariff against Venezuela. He also said he'd be willing to give certain countries exemptions for tariffs when his administration imposes them next week. And he suggested he would impose reciprocal tariffs beginning April 2nd on any nation with duties on U.S. goods. As that date comes closer, some White House officials are indicating that there may be some wiggle room, just a little bit. Also in that cabinet meeting yesterday, just wanted to mention that Elon Musk was in attendance, and he did speak about some of those Doge efforts. And, again, Musk in a cabinet meeting, an unelected official. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Switching gears, protesters are gathered across the U.S., California and Chicago, which I'm going to speak specifically to oppose the privatization of the U.S. or United States Postal Service, USPS. They're supported by federal workers, union members, TSA employees, and members of Congress. Postmaster General Louis DeJoy, who is a Trump appointee, he sent a letter to Congress announcing plans to cut 10,000 jobs and billions from the Postal Service's budget while working with Elon Musk's Doge Department of Government Efficiency. So there are more than 600,000 U.S. postal workers. Let's take a listen to Representative Maxine Waters. She was at a rally in Los Angeles, and here's what she had to say in terms of this fight.
We're going to make sure that all the members of Congress understand the importance of the post office to America, and they're prepared to support it. And any that can't support it really should not be elected to office.
We're here to fight like hell. They're trying to take away our collective bargaining agreements as well as dismantle the post office, and we want to say hell no to that.
I just wonder if the post office is really making money, and that's probably the reason why they have to cut those jobs. I'm just assuming. And the reason I say that is, let's be honest, as a kid, I would always go to the post office, right? You would always see mail from the post office. But now, I don't know the last time I went to the post office. Most of the bills that come in are all email to me or auto pay. Yeah. So do you really go to bills? And then when people send stuff, it's usually UPS or FedEx.
Yeah. But I think the post office just seems like one of those institutions that we should just keep around in a certain way just in case. I don't know why, but it just feels like
if it's costing us so much money and it's costing taxpayer dollars that we're not using, how do you make it work where it's at least paying for itself?
Morgan, are there functions of the post office that if we get rid of, it could impact our day to day without?
Think about people who use PO boxes. You can get those elsewhere. Well, you can get a PO box in other places. But again, privatizing I think the overall thing is privatizing mail. Who's to decide that somebody now can't go through your mail essentially before it gets to you? Or and then think about passport services. There are so many other services associated with the post office. But I hear what they're saying about rooting out the waste, fraud, and abuse and all of that. But to your point, Envy, and Lauren, I don't know.
When's the last time anybody here bought a stamp?
I don't know. I don't buy it.
See,
I
it's certain services that we don't use anymore.
Even
and
people
it's
that's locked up, you don't gotta put a stamp on their mail no more. That's the last time I bought a stamp was like for.
Well, most people email. If you know somebody locked up, they email people in jail now. They don't really send letters.
You send emails in jail?
Yeah, it's like a almost like an app, like a text app.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and they got like FaceTime and.
Okay.
I'm so glad you're removed from that life. I gotta get there.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh Lord. So postal workers in Chicago are also protesting possible cuts. Mayor Brandon Johnson there, he spoke as the National Association of Letter Carriers held a rally in Federal Plaza in Chicago yesterday. Let's hear from him.
We are going to make sure that we protect all of our publics, whether it's the mail, whether it's education, whether it's justice, whether it's environment. We are fighting for the working people of this country.
Yeah, so, but yeah, many argue that privatizing the USPS could increase costs for consumers and create a slower service. So, when you want to get your packages, you want to make sure you get them on time. But then again, so some people are going to get their stuff late regardless, right? Mm-hmm. And the last story, the FBI has a new task force to investigate recent attacks against Tesla. You guys have been seeing the Tesla attacks. They've been increasing over the course of this time that Trump has been in office. So in a statement, the FBI urged the public to exercise vigilance and look out for suspicious activity. This comes after several incidents across the country involving Tesla vehicles, charging stations, and dealerships being vandalized. FBI is warning Tesla owners about this week's, quote, global day of action protest targeting Elon Musk and his car company. Republicans like Senator John Cornyn of Texas, he's demanding accountability for these attacks. Let's hear from him.
Maybe that will stop this once they see the full weight of prosecution come down on them. I'm glad to hear the Attorney General say that this will not be accepted and that they will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. They're lashing out at electric vehicles when this has been one of the primary agenda items of the left.
I just want to tell anybody that wants to vandalize a Tesla, just remember that Teslas have camera 360 degrees. So if you get close enough, they probably have your picture already. So just letting you know that if you are going to vandalize a Tesla, just know that there's 360-degree views of you. When you probably throw eggs, spray paint, or whatever you do, they probably have your picture. I just want to put that out there.
Thank
Stupid.
You,
yeah, that's cool. Yeah, okay, that's a good tip. There have been incidents across at least 9 states since Elon Musk has been working with President Trump in regards to this, and of course the FBI has included. He says the FBI says the incidents have included graffiti expressing grievances against those perpetrators perceived to be racist, fascist, or political opponents. U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi has called the attacks domestic terrorism. So just keep that in mind, what Envy said, and this understanding that, you don't want to be, they're probably going to take this to the full extent of the law, but you don't want to be involved in this type of situation. So the task force will be working with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosions after also a bomb squad found in a device at a Tesla showroom in Texas. So yeah, this is pretty sad, but at the same time, it looks like people are very upset.
I really see the stock of Tesla going to shoot either further down because now insurance companies are charging more for Teslas. So the fact that Teslas are a lot cheaper than usual, the insurance companies are raising prices because people are vandalizing. It's really affecting people. So it's going to be a tough one for Tesla owners and Tesla, the company.
And that's your front page news, guys. So you can follow me on socials at Morgan Media. For more news coverage, follow at Black Information Network. Download the free iHeartRadio app and visit us at BINnews.com. Thank you. Have a great Tuesday. Terrific Tuesday.
Bye, Morgan.
All right, later, Morgan.
All right, y'all. Later.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.